Hey guys, here to get into one of my all-time favorite Quentin Tarantino films, The Hateful Eight. I saw this film, and and this is before I was even a huge fan of Django Unchained. But I feel like he had to kind of get a western out of his system before he could make something. I think he was honestly after making the Inglorious Bastards and Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino had just been on such a different kind of wavelength than he'd ever been before that. I think he wanted to return a little more back to his '90s sort of aesthetic, which he kind of brought back. So it's like he combined like sort of this newfound western kind of outlook he's kind of fully grasped, but then he just combines that with the Reservoir Dogs epic, literally. So this is quite a feast from start to finish because it's just a pure suspense fest. Every character is so deep and engaging, and I feel like this is just one of the best. Yeah, this is really one of the best films Quentin Tarantino ever makes. This is like film 70 millimeter with all like the epic. The 95% of it's really set in an indoor at a cabin. Or maybe 90% of most maybe, but all the outdoor scenes just feel so grand and epic that it's just like you just feel a lot of it kind of said right there in the beauty of the nature it contrasts and just like how chaotic it gets in this cabin, literally. And yeah, I love how intricate and just I guess just a it's a very fun film that increasingly reveals itself to be a very deep, rich experience about a lot of social commentary along the way too, and just the perfect kind of whodunit story. That's what makes it unique for Quentin Tarantino. Like this is a shade he only does like this and Reservoir Dogs. There's this big whodunit sort of tension living inside of it. All these characters are just paranoid, and anyone can be the rotten one, and then it just kind of just builds up and up and up, and just a way that's very original. Quentin Tarantino's every bit as perfect in the 2010s as he was in the 90s. Now, see, it's just like, wow, okay. Because this is just every bit as good suspense, but now it's just more epic of a director. Like I think he was a lot more about intimacy in the 90s. Now he's just a little bit more of a wide scale kind of guy, but here he's honing back in on it, intimacy within a wide scale. And it's not quite like any other spaghetti western ever made, really. I mean, this is completely different. Again, like majority of us just kind of sat inside a room with just characters just kind of going mad crazy. I love Ennio Morricone's music in this too. I mean, there's something beautiful here. Because I heard I came in Quentin Tarantino to get along the best during the Django Unchained process, but I think they kind of made up for it. It's turned out to be, I think I believe it's his last score if I recall correctly. But there's a lot of anxiety that plays out in this film, and it really plays out a lot of anxiety that everyone around you is rotten, and it almost makes you rotten in the process. It's like every behavior I like to avoid, but the film kind of just takes you right through it because escalation of violence really can happen when a person's demons are coming out within other people who also have demons for too long. It's like it literally can drive a person crazy. Like this has happened before. It's like a sense of cabin fever that kind of builds up. And it's just certain people with intense wavelengths like that can bring it out of you if you're stuck in a room with them for that long of a time. So this is one of my biggest phobias, honestly, just being stuck in a room with particular people that I'm like, this is not the correct wavelength, but you can't get out. And so it reminds me of The Thing a lot also. That's another thing. I've been thinking about that film a lot lately. That one's kind of coming back to me. It's like, okay, that's an all-time masterpiece right there. I don't know. Everyone here is just really amazing acting. I mean, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Kurt Russell, Samuel Jackson, they all bring something here that's completely different for all of them. I mean, they're all bastards, basically. But it's a great exploration of everyone being a bastard. I don't know, Quentin Tarantino's vision, it's more cartoonish, so somehow it feels like it's exploring deep themes without, like, actually going overboard, and it's the right amount of lightening up about it in a certain kind of way. It's just the outlook. I mean, this is almost 3 hours long, so this is epic. Just like Django Unchained is in a lot of Quentin Tarantino. He makes epic films; they're long, but this is just. It's beautiful, man. This is a beautiful film on hatred and ugliness and humanity. Like it really just gets right into it. An ugly heart that is just holding on to its last glimpse of beauty before hell sort of reigns amongst all these characters as they interact. And that's just it right there. I mean, all of the way that's just a very novelistic the way it was. As Quentin Tarantino films typically lay out, it's like a new way of being novelistic by way of a film. You could say. I don't know. By the end, all you can do is just be stunned by it, and I got to rewatch this eventually because I mean, it's just a world of its own entirely. It's a very confident vision of just a huge mess as it unfolds, very subtly and very slowly. This is a little different than Reservoir Dogs. This is more linear than Reservoir Dogs is a little more all over the place. This is just a little more linear, just kind of taking it in and savoring all the moments. And I don't know, just a really distinctive, solely memorable time seeing this in theaters for the first time. I remember it was Christmas, and it's also a great buddy of mine. We just kind of felt like, I don't know, it was great suspense the entire way through. Very layered. I don't know, we're just having fun. I was just having like a unique amount of fun with this film. And I feel like the more I get into it, the more I'm like taking this in as like a dark masterpiece and one of the greatest films that come out in 2015. All kinds of great art that was kind of looking at hate a lot, in a very original sort of way, newfound, timeless kind of way. Yeah, and yeah, Quentin Tarantino was kind of getting into all these themes, which he had honed in. It's like almost a, but not actually taking it too seriously. Like that's what Quentin Tarantino is the master of, I think. That kind of like taking intense themes and literally lightening up on them. Like, and I think he acquired that status by this point as a filmmaker with the Glorious Bastards and Django Unchained particularly. So it's like, yeah, he just honed that back into something of a Reservoir Dogs. Just a lot of memorable hopping dialogue, a lot of intense, just you just never know what's going to go. It's really unpredictable, and it's like even if I rewatch it, there's so many layers. I still feel like I need to further dissect, to further unravel what a masterpiece it is. So yeah, if you're up for a wild, unpredictable time, very violent, as you expect, if you're a fan of any of Quentin Tarantino's films or anything that's like just a great masterpiece of a western, then this is the film for you.